Hare Krishna, everyone, and welcome back once again to our ever ongoing lecture series entitled The Glories of Sri Vrindavan Dham. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namane Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pacharine Divishesha Shunyavare Pastacha Deshatarne. Glories to Sri Prabhupada. So we're continuing with our mini-series on Stimulation for Ecstatic Love. And today, this will be part 172, in which we will carry on with our present theme of the glories of Srimati Radharani, and continue, of course, with our new discussions on her glances. I would like to open up with verse 47 of the first Sataka of Srila Bivamangal Thakur's illustrious Krishna Karnamrita. It's very pertinent here. We are searching for that person who has stolen the effulgence of thick clouds, who has grown a bit languid from playing so much, who wears a crest made from the playful feathers of an impassioned peacock, whose lotus face is so fascinating, who has become stunned by long and close contact with the upward pointing sidelong glances of Srimati Radharani, and who is the very overabundance of perfection of all the sweet beauty in the universe. All the sweet beauty in the universe. Krishna Karnamrita. So today I would like to go directly into narrating a very beautiful pastime, demonstrating once again the potency of Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani's merciful glance. It's taken from a combination of two shastras, Govinda Lilamrita and Vidagdha Madhava. And I'll begin as Prabhupada did on a couple of occasions. So once upon a time, Srimati Radharani was becoming restless due to separation from Krishna. So Lalita Devi suggested that her feelings of separation could be mitigated by what? By writing a letter to Krishna. So Radharani agreed, and taking a pen dipped in ink, started to write this letter to Krishna on the petal of a lotus flower. I thought that was wonderful, on the petal of a lotus flower. But as tears fell from her eyes, she only got as far as penning the syllable Krish, and that was all, K-R-S, Krish, it's as far as she got. And when she finished writing Krish, a number of ecstatic emotions just overpowered her. It's described that in the syllable Krish, Radharani saw Krishna's form, qualities, pastimes, and sublime abode. What's more, she entered into Krishna's heart, saw his love, understood his feelings of separation, and felt his love for her. Right there in Govinda Lilamrita. Wow. And in the syllable Krish, Sri Radha saw the one who attracts the gopis, gopas, cows, calves, birds, beasts, plants, and the rivers of Vrindavan. And upon seeing and perceiving all these things, she sat still for an entire pahara. Now I researched, the pahara is 3 hours long. So of course all this is very deep and very esoteric. But even we, as aspiring devotees, can appreciate this syllable Krish, K-R-S, by a famous verse by Srila Rupa Goswami, quoted in Chaitanya Charitamrita Ancha 199. Many of you will know this verse. I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. When that name enters the holes of the ears, we desire many millions of ears. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert. So after Sri Radha had written Krish, and nothing more, many, many hours passed. So finally, Vishaka Saki said to Lalita Saki, "Friend, at this rate, the letter will take millions of years to write." So Lalita turned to Sri Radha and said, O Radha, beloved of Krishna, you have composed a very nice letter. I think you have actually included everything that needs to be said and more. And only after repeated lifetimes, as such, Krishna will possibly come to the end of this letter, encouraging her, Sri Radha. And Vishaka added, yes, Radha, it's more than enough. To the wise and learned, just a few syllables of Krishna's name says everything. So true. Let us send this excellent letter to Krishna through a reliable messenger. So Vishaka called for Rati Manjari, and taking this letter written on the petal of a lotus flower from Sri Radha's hand, Vishaka rolled it, put it into a golden container, and handed it to Rati Manjari, who touched the container to her forehead, and then hid it in her cloth, like she was actually wearing like an apron. So then Srimati Radharani reached out and took Rati Manjari's hand. It's described that neither of them spoke, rather Sri Radha simply glanced into Rati's eyes for a very long time, just glanced. Now in Vrindavan Leela it's said that the senders of hand-delivered letters usually give instructions to their messengers in the silent language of glances. Wow. In the silent language of glances. So then Sri Radha let go of Rati Manjari's hand, and Rati Manjari, along with a few close friends, left to find Krishna somewhere, it's described, in the pasture lands of Vrindavan. Now it's written that Rati Manjari had no idea where Krishna was, but she was convinced that from within her heart, Sri Radha would guide her so that not a moment would be lost. Now, that day, Krishna was also overwhelmed with feelings of separation from Srimati Radharani. He was with his friends, herding cows somewhere in the Vrindavan forest, but his mind and heart were with Sri Radha. So at one point, Krishna's friend Subal, he noticed Krishna's dejected state, and he said, "My friend, what's wrong? Obviously you're distressed. Please tell us what's wrong." And Madhu Mangal, he added, "Krishna, your peacock feather and flower garland fell to the ground some time ago, but you didn't even notice. Gopal, what's going on?" So Krishna, a little defensive, he said, "Nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong." But Subal insisted, "Krishna, we're your friends. You can't hide from us. We can see your heart." Wow, such intimate exchanges with the Lord in Vrindavan. So at that point, tears began to roll down Krishna's cheeks. And startled, Subal called out, "Hey, Govinda, what are these tears? Why are you crying? Oh friend, you are my life. Seeing you in such a state breaks my heart into 100 pieces. For your happiness, Krishna, I would walk to the ends of the earth and back, and give up my life 1,000 times. Tell me what it is you want, and I will get it. Reveal your pain to me, and I will cure it." Wow, these cowherd boys. So rubbing his eyes, Krishna said, "Friends, actually, every morning as I enter into the forest, a girl comes into my vision. Endowed with magical charms, she enters my heart and enchants my mind. Though I play my flute and tend the cows, I can think of nothing but her." So Subal said, "Who is this girl? What does she look like?" So Krishna closed his eyes and said, "Friends, listen. I can say that she shines like lightning. Her sari is like a blue cloud. Her ornaments are like swans, and her beauty is unlimited." So then Subal just laughed. He said, "Shyam, I know who your beloved is. Who else could it be but Sri Radha, the daughter of King Vrishabhanu? The beauty you speak up is to be found in her alone and no one else." So then Madhu Mangal, he said, "Krishna, fear not. With my command of Vedic spells and skill in mixing potions, I shall bring this girl to you without delay. I will gather herbs from the forest and chant special mantras at once. And Subal added, Krishna, on the strength of my arms, which never fail in subduing demons, I will vow to you that we will arrange a meeting with your beloved. She will soon become a flower garland around your neck. But by Purnamasi's arrangement, just at that very moment, as the boys were speaking, who arrived? Rati Manjari and her girlfriends. They found Krishna in the forest. So seeing them, he looked, Madhu Mangal, he just saw them, he started bragging. You see, my friend, just witness the mystic power of a pure Brahmana like me. Simply by my desire, these girls have appeared. So then, pausing a little bit, Rati Manjari came forward, and from the basket on her arm, she handed Madhu Mangal a garland that was prepared by Sri Radha, and it was still fragrant. Shastra says, from her touch. It was still fragrant from her touch, Sri Radha's touch. So then Madhu Mangal, he placed the garland around Krishna's neck. Then Krishna eagerly asked Rati Manjari, my dear young lady, please tell me, how is my dearmost Srimati Radharani, and what is she doing? So Rati Manjari replied, Krishna, in her madness of separation from you, she is churning water in a yogurt pot. But oh joy of Braj, don't be sad. Your beloved desires to meet you, and for that reason, she has written you a letter. So hearing this, Krishna suddenly jumped up and said, a letter? Radha wrote me a letter? And while Krishna watched excitedly, Rati Manjari reached into her apron, her cloth, for the golden container and pulled out the lotus petal letter that Radha had written and passed it to Krishna, as if it's described as if it was some priceless treasure, which it was, of course. So Krishna looked at the lotus petal in awe. Then he removed a gunja necklace from his neck and garlanded Rati Manjari in appreciation. Then in great anticipation, but overwhelmed by emotion, Krishna handed the letter to Madhu Mangal and said, dear friend, please read this letter. I have no doubt it must be a reservoir of nectar for the ears. So Madhu Mangal eagerly accepted the letter, but upon reading it, all he saw was the syllable Krish and nothing else. Now it's described that although Madhu Mangal is, as we often recount, he's always greedy for sweets. But it's also said, bear in mind, he is a peerless connoisseur of rasa. He's the funny Brahmana boy, but he's a peerless connoisseur of rasa. So he thought, only Krishna is qualified to read this letter. Then he said out loud, Krishna, my friend, this is an exceedingly long letter. So Krishna just responded, then read it. But Madhu Mangal handed the letter to Krishna, saying, friend, better you read it, for this sort of letter is best read only by the one for whom it is meant. Wow, these Braj Leelas. So as Krishna took the letter, his heart began to beat very strongly. And he said, as the full moon in the month of Jeshta causes violent waves in the Ganga, so does Radha act upon my heart. Wow, what an analogy. And seeing Krishna's excitement, Madhu Mangal said, Krishna, there are so many beautiful gopis in Vrindavan. Why do you love only Radha with such feeling? Interesting question. So, smiling slightly, Krishna answered, Madhu, my dear Madhu, in Radha there resides such sweetness that upon seeing her beautiful lotus eyes, I feel like rejecting the moon. If you simply think about Radha, you too will know something of her glory. It's a cue for us. So by this time, Subal was getting impatient. So he said, Krishna, what does the letter say? Cowherd voice. So Krishna looked lovingly at the letter and saw before him the syllable Krish and nothing more. However, to him, that syllable was as effulgent as 100 suns and as cooling like 100 moons, the Shastra. Now, not getting an answer to his question, Subal again inquired, friend, what does the letter say? But when Krishna tried to speak, his throat choked up with emotion. And after some time, he cleared his voice, wiped his eyes, and he read aloud what Radharani had meant to convey with the syllable Krish. He understood very deeply. He said, Subal, this is what Sri Radha has actually written. O supremely beautiful Shyamasundar, this letter is not made of words. Your humble servant, Sri Radha, petitions you from the innermost core of her heart. Please spare a few moments to hear her plea. O Krishna, the artistic loveliness of your form is permanently etched in my mind because your beauty causes me constant distress. I run here and there for relief, but wherever I go, you block my path. Krishna, this is my dilemma. Tell me what to do. Your youthful beauty surpasses all things in this world. If the gently splashing waves of your smile make Kamadeva faint from bliss, what will become of me? Each time you smile, your limbs sway to and fro. Sharp arrows shoot from your eyes. Jasmine garlands sway on your chest, and tilak glistens on your forehead. Oh, what a wonder. Oh, what a wonder. I do not know what happened when I first saw you. It felt as if an arrow had pierced my life's breath. My normally peaceful composure fled to a faraway place, and restlessness took hold of me. Now for no apparent reason, I constantly weep. Fearful of what my elders might say, I've told no one about my plight. I simply hide in my room. No one knows what has happened to me. Not even I. Not even I. Now, when Krishna finished reading, because it was only Krish, but he understood the deeper message, Madhu Mangal said, friend, her love is indeed great. You are uniquely fortunate. Such a heartfelt letter, soaked in emotion, deserves a proper reply. A proper reply. Krishna, now you must write to Radha and fulfill her heart's desire. Now taking that cue, Rati Manjari reached into her basket and produced another lotus petal, pen and ink, and gave them to Krishna. So Krishna thought for a moment, and then slowly on that lotus petal, he wrote Ra, R-A, the syllable Ra, and he stopped. That was all he wrote. As Radha had only written Krish, all he could write was Ra. But why? The Acharyas explain, because, this is very mystical, because the syllable Ra was a crystal ball in which Krishna could see dance-fatigued gopis, water sports in the Jamuna, a dinner beneath the stars, and the calm before sunrise that only lovers know. That's how it's put. What's more, the Acharyas say, those letters, Ra, shaped like a string of pearls, were a hidden path to Sri Radha, a bridge that spanned the chasm between separation and meeting, a mantra that would award Krishna freedom. So finally, the Acharyas say, Ra acted like a wise sage who detected Krishna's heart's longing, who knew of his love for her, who championed his eagerness for meeting her, and who advised Krishna how to realize his goal. Deep. But most important, more important than anything else, Ra declared Krishna's submission to Radha. Jai. Radha declared Krishna's submission to Sri Radha. So, convinced that this syllable Ra alone would secure a meeting with his beloved, Krishna handed his letter on a lotus petal to Madhamangal. Then it's described that as birds in their perches jostled with one another for a vantage point from which they could read the letter, Madhamangal rolled it up, the lotus petal, touched it to his forehead, and gave it to Rati Manjari, who received it with great respect. Then placing the lotus petal into the golden container, Rati Manjari bowed down before Krishna and his friends, and then, like the morning mist, vanished along with the other girls, leaving only dainty footprints behind. Then Krishna left to go back to his friends and cows, confident that the power of Radha's name would fulfill his desire to be with her again. And in due course of time, Rati Manjari returned to Yavat, where she gave Krishna's letter to Radharani. So Sri Radha slowly unrolled the lotus petal, and although it only contained the syllable Ra, she too understood its deeper purport. And when her friends asked her to read the letter to them, she said, Krishna has written as follows, Sri Radha. Krishna has written as follows. O beautiful princess of Varshana, from the day I first saw you, my life changed. I was a carefree cowherd boy playing in the fields of Braja, but now I am held captive by the tiny hope that you may bless me with a casual, sidelong glance. Now I am held captive by the tiny hope that you may bless me with a casual, sidelong glance. What wings are to a bird, what the sun is to the world, what the soul is to the body, you are to me. If you think I should live, if you think I deserve to see you in person, please meet me by the bank of the Jamuna, beneath the Kadamba trees, where cuckoos sing and bees hum. Please allow me to serve you, for you are the queen of my heart. You are my Radharani. You are my worshipable deity, and I am your servant eternally. Then Sri Radha fell silent, and placing the letter gently on her lap and looking around, she said happily, He has accepted me. He has accepted me, oh friends. I must meet Krishna by the Jamuna tonight. Please help me to look my very best. And after selecting clothes and ornaments that would be most pleasing to Krishna, Sri Radha was bathed, anointed, dressed, and ornamented by her happy friends. And when the gopis had finished, this is cute, they all stood back to see their work. So then Sri Radha said, my friends, do you think he will like me? This Braj Leela. My friends, do you think he will like me? Now it's described at that point, hearing that, Vishaka just wiped tears of wonder from her face. Radha, what did you say? Do you think he will like me? Did you say that? Just wiped tears from her, of wonder from her face, Vishaka. That was her reaction. Now, that night at Nandagram, after Mother Yasoda had put Krishna to sleep, what did he do? He climbed out of his bedroom window and, chanting Sri Radha's names, went alone to the shore of the river Jamuna. The Acharyas write, just as the written syllables of the divine couple's names had conveyed their mutual affection, those same syllables, when sung, directed both Radha and Krishna to a meeting place on the banks of the Jamuna, where they exchanged loving glances, and in an atmosphere of laughter and joy, they mitigated their feelings of separation during a night time of Brahma. Wow. Hare Krishna. What a pastime. So much Braj emotions. of love between the divine couple and all of their friends. When oh when will that day be ours that by Prabhupada's grace we can participate in some degree. This is our heart's desire. This is our focus, Eke Kurunandana, going back to Godhead. So this beautiful pastime not only shows that by her unique love of Krishna, Sri Radha is without doubt Madan, Mohan, Mohini, the attractor of Cupid. It also reveals that their transcendental names, again, are full of unlimited wonders. And I was thinking most important today, what is significant, is that Krishna prays earnestly to always be held captive by the tiny hope that Sri Radha may one day bless him with a casual sidelong glance. Bless him with a casual sidelong glance. We also pray for that glance from Srimati Radharani. That's our goal. So let us finish today with a verse from Srila Rupa Goswami's Vidagdha Madhava 2:51. Whenever I gaze upon that girl whose lips are red like bimba fruit, whose flowering eyebrows tremble like restless vines, and whose countless sidelong glances wander playfully in every direction, teaching even the graceful deer the art of casting crooked waves of glances. At that very moment, the cruel and angry god of love, Kamadev himself, takes up his incomparable bow of flowers and aims it straight at my heart. Krishna's saying like that. Whenever I gaze upon that girl whose lips are red like bimba fruit, whose flowering eyebrows tremble like restless vines, whose countless sidelong glances wander playfully in every direction, teaching even the graceful deer the art of casting crooked waves of glances, at that very moment, the cruel and angry god of love, Kamadev himself, takes up his incomparable bow of flowers and aims it straight at my heart. Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhu, so much. Wow, these are really special pastimes of Srimati Radharani's glances. And I think by her grace we have a couple more classes on those glances. Thank you so much. Shri Shri Gauranitai ki, Shri Shri Krishna Balaram ki, Shri Shri Balashama Sundar ki, Vrindavaneshwari Srimati Radharani ki, her glances ki, Mayapurdam ki, Gauranitai ki, Shri Krishna Sankirtan Yogi ki, Nitai Gaur Vimanandi Jai Jai, Sri Radhe Sham, Srila Prabhupada ki. See you soon. I will.